If someone told you he was going to move two mountains with his bare hands, what would you think? Would you laugh at him for being foolish, or would he somehow move you? In a fable that has been passed down in China for over 2,000 years, one man actually did exactly that. His name was Yugong, the foolish old man. The story happened long, long ago. In front of Yugong's home stood two enormous mountains, Taihang and Wangwu, thousands of feet high and hundreds of miles wide. They cut his family off from the outside world entirely. Every trip out meant climbing over the peaks, taking the long way around. Exhausting, time-consuming, and miserable. Yugong stared at those two mountains. A thought that had been building inside him for years finally on that day became a decision. He gathered the whole family and called a meeting. Then he announced a plan that left everyone speechless. They were going to dig those mountains away. The family exchanged glances. His wife was the first to speak, not in opposition but in worry. Mountains this big, where would all the dirt and rock go? Yugong thought for a moment and said, "We'll carry it to the Bohai Sea." So the next morning, Yugong led his sons and grandsons out with hoes and baskets. They dug, load by load, filling baskets with earth and stone, hauling them all the way to the shores of Bohai, dumping them, then walking back to dig again. One round trip took the better part of a year. There was a man in the village who fancied himself clever. His name was Jisoo, the wise old man. When he saw what Yugong was doing, he couldn't help but walk over and scoff. "Look at you. At your age, you barely have the strength to pull a weed off that mountain. What makes you think you can move it?" Yugong set down his hoe, looked at him calmly and said, "Your thinking is too narrow. When I die, my sons will carry on. When they die, my grandsons will carry on. Generation after generation, without end. But these mountains, they won't grow any taller. How could we possibly fail to level them?" Jisoo had nothing to say. Yugong's words reached the heavens. The Lord of Heaven, deeply moved by Yugong's will, sent two mighty gods down to earth. Each carried one mountain away on his back, one to the north, one to the west. From that day on, the path before Yugong's home was open and clear, with nothing standing in the way. The story of the foolish old man moving the mountains comes from the ancient text Lizi and has been told for more than 2,000 years. Some say Yugong was truly foolish. Why dig a mountain when you could just move house? But perhaps that is not really what the story is about. What it is trying to tell us is this: some mountains aren't meant to be walked around. They're meant to be moved. One person's strength may be small, but a commitment passed down through generations can change anything that seems impossible. Is there a mountain like that in your own life?